Hey. You know what this is?
A knife.
That's not a knife.
Oh, you could say that.
You know what this is? You know what we're doing right now?
We're doing a podcast.
No, but do you know? Do you know?
You're being really quiet, is what I know.
Do you know what's happening right now, though?
Yeah, we're doing a podcast.
Do you not know?
No.
It's episode 30.
Oh my God.
We
finished our contractual obligations. See you later.
That was
Thanks for
horrible.
hanging
High
out,
five.
guys.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Bob, grab your Christmas Tokyo treat box.
I wish I could. I'm very upset about this. I moved and there was a shipping issue and I don't got mine. I'm very upset about it.
Usually we open these together, but today I'm going to be describing these flavors to Bob and in turn describing them to all of you. I've been very excited to open this one. Bob's got all the information on it, but it is a Santa's Snack Fest. It is Christmas themed.
Yes.
Bob, the Kit Kats this time. Do you want to know?
Oh, the Kit Kats are the best part.
Milk tea. I don't know how that's Christmas themed.
Oh, it's probably a Japanese thing. I don't know.
Maybe, but I love tea. Actually, I'm not even kidding. I have a milk tea next to me right now. Just a
Oh my God.
standard Lipton milk tea. So yeah, I am actually very excited for this.
Christmas is a big deal in Japan, just like it is in New York, baby.
Am I wrong in thinking that a Christmas staple in Japan is KFC?
Yes, no, you're right. I've heard that also.
Oh my God.
Like Christmas Day.
This tastes exactly like this. That's pretty funny.
Santa's Snack Fest. That's what we got for Tokyo Treat. We're celebrating the most wonderful time of the year with a Christmas limited edition box design. That's it right there. The little green box, the little Christmas box.
Bob,
What do you got? What's
waffle.
up?
Waffle. We got another waffle. Those are the best. Bob looks upset.
I love the pastries.
The waffles are my
God.
best. Other than the Kit Kats, I love when I get a waffle.
I mean, I'm going to get it. I just have to wait until I go get it.
I know.
We'd like to bring you the taste of what Christmas is like in Japan with this Santa's Snack Fest box. Enjoy the Kit Kat Milk Tea Pocky Winter Caramel. Ooh. Tongari Christmas Corn Chips and many more.
It's chocolate dipped in white chocolate.
Oh, God. I like a good waffle.
Hey, don't be like Bob. Get a box today.
Yeah, Jesus.
Tokyo Treat is a Japanese monthly snack subscription box where you can get up to 20 of the latest, most traditional... No, that's the other one. The latest, most popular Japanese snacks. Like, obviously, Kit Kats and Pocky.
Yes, most exclusive limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. Get up to 20 of them that are only available in Japan for a limited time, like Sakura Pepsi, Japanese sake Kit Kats, ramen, and many more. That seems
There's a milk tea drink in this one.
Oh, milk tea apparently big Christmas thing, I guess.
Why
don't you open the booklet?
In
Why don't you open the booklet and find out what the big deal about milk tea is? Because if you don't know what any of the snacks are because they're written in Japanese, you can open the booklet and the booklet will tell you all about it.
Yo, I was right. There's KFC right here in the book.
Oh!
A very Tokyo Christmas.
We know about Japan.
Finger licking Christmas chicken. There is no chicken in here, I'm sorry to say, but there is a waffle.
There's two different boxes. Tokyo Treat is fun one with the nice snacks. Sakuraco, more traditional. You get to experience more traditional stuff from all over Japan. Some local snacks.
Yeah, it's made by artisan snack makers.
Yeah, Sakuraco is a monthly authentic Japanese snack box. Each box comes with 20 traditional and authentic artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and one special Japanese tableware. Sakuraco is partnering with local Japanese snack makers to continue to share Japanese culture and traditions that have been passed down for over 100 years.
Look at this little tablecloth. It's so cute.
Oh my God.
What are these? They look like wasabi peas. They kind of taste like wasabi peas. Oh, they're wasabi mayonnaise.
Oh, I like that. This month's Sakuraco theme is Tochigi Tradition. We're partnering with Tochigi local government, a Japanese prefecture that's famous for its breathtaking mountains, waterfalls, and you can find over 600 onsens. Onsens are like their little spots to keep you warm, especially during this winter season in Japan.
Bob, there's mini donuts covered in sugar.
I like the
and
pastries.
They
I
smell.
like when they do the pastries.
There's chocolate inside. Bob,
I'm missing out, dude.
how good is this? Is so good.
You at home could try it for yourself. If you use the code Nontendo, you'll get $5 off your first box, and you can get a chance to experience Japan in person because they're giving away a free ticket to Japan. How do I get that? Do I gotta buy a box, or will they just put me in it? Will they take us to Japan? Maybe we should talk to them.
We should, because we want to go in March.
We want to book a trip.
This is amazing. Use code Nontendo and get yours now. This actually would be a really cool Christmas present. If you know someone who's like a big weeb like Bob, or just someone in general who likes Japanese snacks, that means yes. I know that.
You're right. See, we're learning.
We're learning. This would be a fantastic Christmas present, actually, especially with the Sakuraco one being, Tokyo Treat one being themed. One of the best sponsors we ever get to work with, so please support them so they keep coming back.
I love it when I eat it.
I love it when I eat it. And let's get back to the episode. For those that, don't remember or haven't been watching from the start, we were supposed to have help with this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
we talked extensively in a bonus episode, but in the very beginning, we talked about how we had problems getting this podcast up off the ground.
If you want to hear the whole story, like the first episode of the bonus on Patreon, I think it was the very first or second, maybe.
I think it might have been the third.
Really? I think we were
Well, no, because we filmed the first two and we still thought we were going to have help.
True. Yeah. Yes.
So I think it was until the third where we got all upset.
And so if you want to see what happened, it's in that. But this is supposed to be it is a big production, but it was supposed to be like there was a whole team that was
already set up and ready to go.
Which is why we even did this in the first place, is because we thought we were going to have all this help.
But the reason why episode 30 is so significant to us is because the first contract we ever had was for 30 episodes.
Yeah, they were going to help with 30 episodes.
And we looked at that and you signed it. I was like, let's hold off for a second because I don't know how I feel about this. And then what are we doing? Okay. Now we have help, and they do stuff like
there it is.
Yes, make sure the podcast is set up and ready to go.
We kind of just structured our own team, although that team really consists of E, who we were always going to have anyway helping us with this.
Exactly, which is why we're like, why do we need a team at all?
Yeah.
Why am I signing this contract for 30 episodes where I don't know if you guys are even going to hold up your end of the deal, which they ended up not even doing anyway.
And if the final detail in that is they were going to take a majority of what we were making.
Yeah.
And now we've done it all ourselves with E and an editor, Brandon, and you guys, the help with the Patreon.
Yeah.
Honestly, would be lost without that. But here we are, episode 30. How many more do you think we're going to do?
One. I know for a fact
Bob just wanted
we will do at least one more.
Out of spite, Bob just wanted to do 31 episodes.
But no, I didn't want to do that contract because that was a big commitment for something we weren't even sure about.
We didn't know how it was going to go.
Yeah, like we want to feel out and make sure that it's good and make sure we're working with the right people and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't want to lock in for 30 episodes.
It doesn't help that. And I was actually thinking about this today on the way here. I decided not to even bring this up, but I may as well, because I thought I would jinx it if I brought it up. But at the start, literally right before we went to film the first episode, we had like a little fight. And like that was maybe like the second or third time.
Do you mean like literally right before the cameers went on, or do you mean like the week before?
It was like a couple weeks before.
We had a couple fights.
We did
leading up to it. It was very stressful.
Because we were,
So we didn't even know if we would work together.
Yeah. We were friends and we were making videos together, but we hadn't really like invested time into each other yet. And like we kept clashing.
Yeah.
But so when that contract came around, you were like stuck with this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I didn't want to work with like, a company for 30 episodes or you.
Yeah.
But those fights were necessary because it taught us how to work with each other.
Yeah, it's been great since then. I honestly don't foresee a way that we would, and this is why I thought I would jinx it, because I'm sure we might at some point, but I don't foresee a way that we would clash at this point because we've become so understanding and compassionate towards each other, and I really do appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate.
Thank you.
We needed to figure out how to air our grievances with each other, and I think we've definitely learned that.
I think I don't want to speak for you, but for me, I think I realized just who you were as a person. You were very abrupt. and very like, this is me. And at first I was getting kind of taken back by that. And I thought that maybe you were like attacking me when you weren't really.
But also, I think I think for me, I don't like when people try to get me to do things.
Yeah,
I like to be left alone. You were trying to get me to do a lot of things. I was like, God, man. But,
and I think this is why I didn't want to speak for you, but I think you realize that I'm definitely a lot softer, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah,
you can't yell at me.
I'm like, hey
ways.
man, leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, and then that was a problem.
Yeah,
so
but it's good now.
No, we figured it out. We figured it out, and we've made it 30, and we will do hopefully many more.
Yeah, no, it's going very well. Again, the Patreon, but also just in general, we have sponsors now. This episode sponsored by Tokyo Treat, which you guys are about to get treated to in a second, or you might have already, depending on where we cut the intro.
We got treated to it.
But anyway, all right, so cool. Happy to be here. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
This is really is going well. So if you're, wondering the longevity of this podcast, I mean, I'm staying.
Stuck. One of our biggest points of contention with setting up the podcast was that I wanted to do a lot of remote ones, and you wanted to do them all in person.
That is a funny.
And there was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, that's a funny reflection.
We ended up doing a lot of them remote.
Well, the funniest thing.
Anyway,
the funniest thing is that
there's a dog here.
The food might be here. Is that initially one of the arguments we legitimately had was I was pushing so hard I wanted every episode to be in person.
Right.
And you did not. You wanted a lot to be remote or half and half.
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth, and we ended up just deciding on let's see what happens. Yeah. But I was still pushing for the in-person.
And the first couple, there were a lot more in person than I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. And then I ended up liking it, and I didn't really have a problem with it.
I could tell, yeah. But that's what was ironic. You ended up liking it, and you were fine with it. I mean, I probably could have kept pushing for it, but then I had my big anxiety breakdown and didn't want to really travel too much. So I have been pushing for remote so much. Even like for this episode, I was like, we could do one remote before I get there, right?
I knew that you were, I don't want to say you were pushing it off. We've done this. It's worked before though. You would be like, we have an episode this weekend. We could just we should probably just do a remote because there's a lot of news. I usually am like, no, absolutely. Because I want to do them remote anyway. I'm like, whatever we got to do to push them. But this time we really can't. We really got to
do some in person. It's fine, yeah. I mean, it's leading up to Christmas too. I don't know what the Christmas break's going to look like for us and trying to get episodes done. Yeah.
You've publicly already said that you're taking a break in January.
I don't know if I have. But yeah, I'm taking all of January off.
Here it is.
Here it is from content creation. I talked to my network manager the other day. I saw him. I had to go drop the gimbal back off that I used for our weird Sonic collab.
Yes.
And he was like, so you're not really taking like the whole month off, right? I'm like, nope, I am. And he's like, you're going to do like one video for the algorithm. I'm like, nope. And he's like, I really think you should do. I'm like, I'm not doing anything.
You'll be fine.
Like the only thing I'm doing is this podcast, and we haven't really figured out how yet. But I might just come and hang out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we can preload them. We can do remote ones. We can keep doing them live, whatever is easiest.
I need that break for my mental health, but
I'm taking a week off at the very end of the year. Yeah. But I might not even. I don't know.
That's the thing too, because I am thinking, I'm like, I have that whole month off. What if I did like a second channel video where I was like vlogging? And I'm like,
what you're going to do?
Stop.
You're going to spend a long time making your return video is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know what that's going to be, but
yeah, it's got to be a banger.
Right now, I'm working really hard on my Pokemon review.
I saw you tweet about that. You said it's going to take like another 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
that is very fortunate that you are able to make a review that far away from launch.
Oh, we will see. We will see how it pans out.
It will do great. I know it will do great.
I think it will,
because people are waiting for you to make that.
I know. That is really cool. And I actually tweeted about that a couple weeks ago because I was like, I need to get better about making my review, even if I've taken too long to make the review. Yeah. People still ask for my Xenoblade review all the time. But like, I didn't start scripting it until a month after I finished, or the game came out, because it took me so long to finish it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no one's going to care. And I know it probably still would bang, but right now there's like Pokemon and everything. But I'm feeling pretty good about this one. It's right now 10 pages long, and my Cyberpunk review was 14 pages long. So it's the second longest script I've wrote. But I realized last night as I was in bed, I forgot this. I didn't even talk about the Pokemon.
The new Pokemon.
I realized last night I didn't even mention the new Pokemon. I'm like, I got to write a whole page about the new Pokemon. But yeah, so I have a lot to say, and I'm down to give some of those thoughts today while we talk about Pokemon.
Yeah, we have been playing it for a lot longer now than the last time.
I can't believe it's been out for 2 weeks already. I've finished it. I've almost finished the Pokédex.
I feel like I'm halfway through. I have half of the numbers on the map. Does that mean I'm halfway through?
Kinda. Okay. There's quite a bit of post game. I don't know if you want me to ruin it.
I'm absolutely never going to touch the post game. Once the credits roll, I'm turning the game. I might uninstall it. I'm never going to play it again.
Do you care at all about the raids?
No. Okay. I mean, I might like jump in if there's something cool or like some friends want me to do it, but otherwise I really don't care.
There's maybe like 2 hours of post-game story after credits roll. It's not that interesting though.
Okay, then I don't care. Yeah. That's part of the problem. Part of my problem with Sword and Shield was I did the DLC and I did the story parts and like the raids and stuff were the best part of the DLC from what I was told. But I did the story stuff and the story stuff was so boring and stupid. It
was pretty boring. The raids were really fun though. I feel like if there are DLC for this game that you'll want to play, you're probably going to have to at some point finish that post-game stuff. They're probably going to make you. Can I tell you what it is? It's not that bad.
Everybody leave and come back in 5 minutes if you want.
It's one
if you
sentence.
Don't want spoilers.
It's one sentence.
Okay, go ahead.
You just got to do all the gyms again.
Oh, that I heard you talk to Jackson about.
Yeah, you don't have to do the stupid stuff at the sunflowers and things. You just got to go there.
Are they all leveled up?
They're all like level 65, but at that point, if you've beaten the end, you'll be able to beat them all, no problem.
Yeah,
I breezed through it. I don't even know why they made me do it again. It was so pointless.
I really love the open world nature, how you could just go wherever you want, but I feel like I'm just plowing through everybody. The last gym I did, I was like, oh no, it's a water gym and my grass Pokemon died. Oh no, what am I going to do? And then I just fucking annihilated it with a water Pokemon.
I actually ended the game with like 1 rock type, 3 normal types, and like a water or something. Usually I try so hard to have all these different like varying Pokemon. So any position I get in, I have a counter to the counter.
Yeah.
I literally used the nutsack Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's like,
nope, I don't know.
It's like the Minecraft Pokemon. I don't know.
The square guy.
The square guy.
Yeah.
I don't know their actual names this time because I gave my Pokemon nicknames.
That's why I don't give them nicknames.
This is the first time.
I try to memorize their names.
This is the first time I've ever given my Pokemon nicknames, and suddenly I realized, what's my 1-Up actually called? Because I named it 1-Up when it looked like a mushroom, and now it's a giant Minecraft villain. His actual name is like Knacklesack or something. And Macklemore.
I don't like that name either.
No, I don't. I think
Nutsack's better.
That's why I call it Nutsack. Yeah, I just used him. Yeah. Like the Elite Four, it was like him, and I just like knocked everything out. I was like, why? I don't even need the rest of the Pokemon.
I have been enjoying my time with it. I feel like I just want to play something else now. Like I like it, and I want to keep going, and I want to experience more of it. But it's not a game. It's
really weird, and like a lot of this I'm going to be talking about in my review. But the weirdest thing for me at this point, I was showing you last night in Discord, is I realized if you hold ZL, which initially we were like, what does this do? Because it snaps your camera to the right.
Yeah,
it's aiming. But the funny thing with that mechanic is if you use that while next to a wall or something, it snaps the camera into the wall.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. Usually a camera knows when there's like a cliff or a building, and like the normal camera will like hit it.
Collision.
And it will collide around it, and you'll like lose vision a little bit as you like whatever.
Yeah, like you can't go into a wall, you'll collide into it. The camera can't pass the wall. It doesn't make any sense.
But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's spaghetti code doesn't understand that when you hold ZL and push the camera to the right, it needs to also have collision.
Yeah.
So I've been going around the game and looking into things. All the buildings, all the shops, all the cliffs, just trying to see what's behind there for my review. The most interesting thing I think I found was just there was one shop that had stuff in it, but you can't go in. It's like the menu shop, which makes me think like at some point they started placing some things in there.
I did hear that.
Ran out of time.
I did hear that there was stuff inside some of the shops, and that makes me think that absolutely they wanted you to be able to go into it.
It's not like you can't go into any, because the one shop they did flesh out was the sandwich shop, which I feel like they had to.
That's
because the sandwich is the new main gimmick, but it's the only store you can actually go into, and all the rest are menu screens.
Yeah. Remember 2 episodes ago when you told me that I have to go eat an ice cream and see what that looks like? It's like a PNG of an ice cream, and then the guy goes, no,
So funny.
I did that the other day and it glitched and the guy didn't even open his mouth. He just put his whole head in front of the picture and just went. And then just disappeared.
That's so funny. Have you made a sandwich yet?
No.
It's
I've seen the trailer.
It's so stupid because like you'll make a ham sandwich and they'll give you like the mayo and the mustard, but then they give you 3 slices of ham and 3 pickles. And you have to place it all. And that's just like slap, slap, slap. You put the pickle somewhere. It looks ridiculous. I tried placing the top of the bread and it slipped off and just rendered out of the game. So I had the half sandwich, but it still made me put the spike in the middle like it was fancy.
It's an open face.
And then my guy went to eat it. And I think it knows when you make it wrong because he's like, I was like, sorry. That JPEG tasted bad.
Usually the food in Pokemon is a regional thing. Like this, like the last game took place in Europe, right? Or in like the UK or something.
Yeah.
And the food was like spicy curry because it's like a big Indian population.
It was Europe, UK, yeah.
This
is
one,
Spain.
This one's Spain. So why sandwiches?
Espanol.
You, as the resident food expert, you have to tell us why sandwiches
I thought you were going to say
are
it was
Spain.
Spanish. I was like,
As the resident Greek guy, could you tell us about Spain?
Close enough.
I don't know. I mean,
It doesn't make sense, right?
no. I mean, to be fair, I haven't played the game at all yet. So
Have you
Also,
been to Spain?
yeah,
I feel
No,
like
not yet.
Maybe you're not the expert I'm looking
the
for.
main
it
sandwich
up.
in this game seems to be a ham sandwich with 3 pickles.
That doesn't sound very Spanish.
not really, right?
That's a Cubano.
It's a Cubano?
Yeah,
A ham sandwich
ham
with 3
sandwich
pickles.
with
But
pickles.
just
So
ham?
you
It's
are
not like
a
a
Spain expert.
I know.
It's not
about
like a fancy
sandwiches.
ham. It's just a regular ham.
It's regular.
It's
cooked-
Pokemon ham. It's
so-
Lechonk ham.
Oh no.
A Cubano is like usually like pulled pork, ham, cheese, and pickles.
See, I knew you would know what you were talking about.
Well, I didn't know that was the main sandwich because then sure, it's a Cubano. Yeah,
Okay.
Well, there you go. Ham sandwich. That's pretty
Alright.
interesting.
I like
actually.
that.
But
Yeah,
that's
I like that too.
When I think Spain, I don't think ham sandwich.
Hoagies.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Well, also to that, the Cubano is Cuban. We're talking about Spain, so that's why I'm.
But
like,
you brought it up.
because that's the sandwich.
But you brought it up like it was an obvious, oh, well, yes, well, that's a Cubano. Just like in Spain, they do that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It's a Cubano.
It was like a light bulb went on in your head.
Yeah,
though.
I think we just
It's like
took Spain and
guys
Cuba
It's
and
like
just
you
went
Terran
boom.
typed
Cubano.
into an electric Pokemon. A giant light bulb above your head was like, oh, that's a Cubano.
It is though.
Hey,
Like, it's exactly
Espanol.
Espanol, mamma mia.
Cubano.
We're getting Italian. We don't know anything about Europe at all.
2 idiots make a podcast. You know what Scoop told me? Because I was like, and he might have lied.
He might be here.
He is.
He is?
Yeah.
Do we want to
that's-
open that can of worms?
It's literally doors that are closed that would open like a can if we want to let that worm in. Yeah, sure.
Oh my God. God damn, dude.
I don't really feel that way, but the joke was right there. Hey, Scooty. You want
Come here.
You want to come in, buddy? We got a
No
Pokemon
chair.
question to ask
He
you.
needs a chair. if
Bring
he
a
wants to
chair.
Bring a chair.
And Zim, maybe.
We'll see what he says because he might have changed his mind. Sometimes Scoot's like, this is 100% the thing. And then immediately he's like, sorry, guys. I just realized that this is wrong.
sit. Do you think he
Well, I
would
have
know
to make
about
it
a
a-
sandwich? That's it
No,
comes
we're
from-
not asking about
the
the
thing I
sandwich.
wanted to ask him is because like we had a whole conversation. So you know how
Yes.
I mentioned that they have ham in the game, and I thought it might have been Lechonk ham.
Right.
Were you messing with me when you said that in one of the stores you can buy cloth legs?
No, you can actually buy cloth legs.
So you can, you know, the new crab,
Yeah.
the cloth. They sell crab legs in the game, so they're eating the Pokemon.
Wait, but it's cloth legs specifically.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
It
in
is-
the
it is-
Pokemon
it-
universe, I had this question too, but in the Pokemon universe, there are animals.
No, that's been disproven by the leader of the company.
I have never seen an animal in Pokemon.
There's like birds and shit in the anime.
is there?
Yeah.
And they're not
they eat
Pokemon?
meat, you know?
Yeah, from the Pokemon.
So originally there was concept art where artists would draw dogs and actual birds with Pokemon. Those were mistakes, and that doesn't.
I mean,
exist
But they're
anymore
in the
Pokemon.
anime, you see birds
Yeah,
like,
but
fly
even
around and stuff.
even if
Yeah,
they
Pokemon
were,
birds. You're right.
we just,
no, they're not Pokemon though. They're fucking just birds. They're like pigeons and shit.
can of worms.
They don't have like a name.
Not
Whole-ass
anymore.
can of worms.
Not anymore.
That doesn't exist.
And
anymore.
even if
my
they
God.
did still in some medias, I mean, you can play Scarlet and Violet and not find birds or
No, you're right. You're right.
Like
It's Scarlet and Violet. There's absolutely no
is-
animals.
And they call it claw legs, not crab legs.
Yeah, no,
claw
that
legs.
is.
And then we
fucked
had
up.
a whole conversation about that because like then is the ham lechonk, but like we don't say we're eating a pig sandwich. We say we're eating a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
And
the meat is called ham.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's from the pig Pokemon, and then they call it claw legs because we literally do eat crab legs. There's not another name for crab, and this is claw, which is a crab.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So they're eating the Pokemon.
They are. The problem with that is that they're sentient somewhat.
Yeah, I mean they're all intelligent. They are
Yeah.
all intelligent.
Yeah,
They
like, we
battle
don't-
for you. They level up.
Like we don't eat certain animals because they're cute and cuddly and we don't want to do that, But like these animals like have like thoughts and feelings and like will communicate with you and stuff and make their own decisions, and that's scary.
Which makes me wonder in that one store that sells the dog meat in the game.
Dog meat?
There's a dog meat sandwich. Oh, no, I'm just lying.
I'm gonna fucking lose my mind, dude. I was gonna pull a PETA and
You know what is-
completely ban this fucking game.
You know what is dog meat though?
What?
The coding of this game.
Oh yeah.
We should probably talk about that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh, you want to talk about the update that
Yeah,
they
they did a
released that
patch.
made it
They
a
did a
little bit?
patch.
You don't have to be
They did
here
a
for the
patch.
whole time if you want to eat or to hang out or something.
I'm
I feel like we just like pulled you.
No, that was worth it.
Okay.
So when we first sat down to talk about this, we did a whole episode, which did very well actually,
Yes, I'm
about the
glad.
bugs and glitches in
was fun.
Pokemon. And a lot of people, and I mean, we're not through it yet. I mean, we're not through the woods.
Do you have a smartwatch?
It's still, I do,
How long have you had a smartwatch?
forever. I always,
What is the background?
it changes with the weather. Right now it's all snowy
Oh,
because
it
it's
looks
getting
like
cold.
Pokemon.
No,
I thought you had a Pokemon background.
no, I don't. I wish I did.
Anyway, yeah, we're talking about how buggy the game was and stuff. And now they released a little patch out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, a lot of people said that they would never release a patch, which I actually didn't think they would,
I didn't think they would. Well, I thought
or even address it.
yes.
Because you had a standpoint. Sorry to keep interrupting.
No.
But you had a standpoint that Nintendo wouldn't even. No, you thought that Nintendo should step in, and like Scoot and I were like, they why would they care? But they've actually put out a statement saying we're going to fix
That
it.
was a very frustrating conversation with you people. I feel like everyone was telling me I was wrong, and I was like, well, you people keep fucking saying it's a first-party game then. Anyway, yes, Nintendo came in and
You were
said,
right. You were right.
and said that let's read. You want to read the patch
I mean,
notes?
yes.
I actually didn't think that they were gonna make a patch to fix anything, but I thought they would make a patch for like stability updates, bullshit like that, like they always do
Yeah.
with the Switch.
Well, also like your standpoint on the Nintendo thing too was like they're going to be so mad and they're going to make them change,
Well,
which they might. Or
I
they,
didn't say they would. I said they should.
Or they might just have been like, we're getting a lot of complaints. People are tweeting at us. We're getting a lot of refunds. We're going to make a statement about patches. And that's probably the length of what they've done.
It was more so that Nintendo cares a lot about the quality of their products and things that they're associated with. And they have no problem whatsoever. No matter how much money something makes, they got no problem being like, nah, we're done. It's not
That's a good
up to
point.
our standards. We're going to hold it off, or we don't even need it. We'll take the loss. So I didn't say they would. I said they should, or they could, and they have before.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the patch, and it's not even.
Don't get excited.
Yeah, it's, and
Can I say before you read that too? I watched you last night, Scoot. Night before you got
Thursday.
the patch. You were playing
the day the patch came out.
He was live on Twitch. He was playing Buggy Horrible Mess. The patch went through. He closed, updated, turned it back on, and immediately, as
Game
he was
crashed.
like moving in the part of the game he was in, you know when like the whole back area of the game like goes to black, or like the farms and like the landscapes will disappear out of the game. They'll flicker.
yeah.
That happened like bang, bang, bang. like freaking fireworks were going off in his game.
Honestly, I really liked it. I thought it was really great that Nintendo added a Christmas tree light setting for the game.
Yeah,
for the
no, it was very
holidays.
seasonal. They added
Very
very
nice.
seasonal.
Yeah, I was in a unique position where I go live at 6 p.m. every day. Patch didn't go live until 7, around 7, which is a weird time to put out a patch in my opinion, at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So I played an hour without the patch. My
Well,
game
that's
crashed.
like 5 or 6 a.m. in Japan.
Oh, maybe that makes sense then. I don't know. But I played the game pre-patch. It was a buggy, horrible mess. And then it patched, and there was a severe pop-in with the patch. and then my game completely crashed.
It
And
fixed nothing.
I've never had a hard crash
I
before.
have 3 times.
Oh my God.
It fixed absolutely zero. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers be like, "Oh my God, this fixed it."
I know, dude. I was streaming the day that the patch came out, or maybe the day after something.
Same day, I rated you.
Dude, everybody in the chat. So did the patch work? And there's some people in the chat that are like, "Oh my God, it runs so much better now." I was like, "Are you guys fucking kidding me?"
There are people.
Not a single thing changed.
There's a lot. You're going to read the patch notes in a second, but they didn't even fix any of the stuff. So the people that are saying like, "Oh, the frame rates are fixed, the pop bin's fixed," you're high on nostalgia and copium because they literally. That's not even in the patch notes that they touched it. That stuff hasn't been fixed yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they touched some stability problems, but there are so many stability problems that it's gonna be.
It's not noticeable.
Yeah,
Like it's still a mess. It is still a mess.
I'm sure they did something, but it's not enough.
I think in general, there's like a placebo effect too of like,
Absolutely.
when you tell someone you've patched something and then they play it and maybe they have a smooth couple minutes, they're like, "Oh, that's so much better."
Yeah, I was in a town and it was rough, and somebody
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, this town runs so much better than when I played it
I'll-
pre-patch."
I'll,
I was like, "No, dude, no way."
I've
I've been here and it still sucks.
It sucks. The Electric Town specifically is the biggest one for tanking.
Yeah.
And Arlo tweeted a clip of him walking into the town and it coming to a crawl and like almost like one frame lingered for so long. And he was like, "Yeah, that patch is great. It was a really good patch."
All right, I'm going to read the notes here. December 1st. This was season 1 of Ranked Battles will kick off, allowing you to enjoy ranked battles through the Battle Stadium.
Nice, good
That
patch.
was cool.
Thank you.
Please check the in-game notice for more details about Ranked Battles Season 1. An issue has been fixed that caused the music to not play correctly during the battles with the Elite Four
Just one issue.
and the top champion in the Victory Road path.
I'm glad that's fixed. Didn't they add a patch to make it so you can't mod out Ed Sheeran's music at the end of the game?
That's what that is, I think. Yeah.
That's what that is?
He's giving a thumbs up.
That's so funny.
The
People-
Victory Road, the top champion in the Victory Road path, that means Ed Sheeran's music is playing.
The first mod that came out for the game was somebody modded out Ed Sheeran's music from the credits.
No, we need that in.
And like the second,
Hurry up, work round the clock
The second,
so they can't take that out.
the second patch note was them working around the clock to make it so you can't mod that out.
I was in the
Thank
kitchen
God.
the other day and that song came on the Alexa. Like Hannah was listening to it.
Okay.
I was like,
How do you feel about the song?
I've only ever heard it in the Pokemon trailer. So that's my association is this is the Pokemon song.
My sleepy time tea is called Celestial, and I
Is this
think
in real life?
yeah,
Okay.
and I think it's really sweet of them to name the song after my sleepy time tea
Celestial.
because it's so boring and it puts you to sleep.
Celestial.
I don't know how to say it. Celestial.
Celestial sounds good.
Celestial. Celestial. I'm gonna get copyright strike.
That was it. That was everything. The last one was other.
Sorry, I was drinking. That was it.
That's it.
I was-
no,
I
there's
was-
one more. There's
I
one
was
more.
getting settled on in for a long list of patch
There's
notes.
one more that's just 7 words. Other select bug fixes have been made. So you can rest assured there have been other select bug fixes.
Select. You know,
Select.
we didn't want to fix all of them.
Picked and didn't choose.
Now, is this clever wording where like some of the bug Pokemon had issues and they just
That's this one's
They
legs
could
don't
have
work
been.
right.
Yeah,
They
it could
gotta
have
fix them
been.
around.
Select bug fixes.
They did. Those were all of the bullet points. They did add another note at the very end that says, "We are aware that players may encounter issues that affect the game's performance.
May.
Our goal,
Assuming
our
you
goal
put
is
the cartridge in the console, you may experience these once you've bought the game.
our goal is always to give players a positive experience with our games, and we apologize for the inconvenience. We take the feedback from players seriously and are working on improvements to the games." Notice how they said, "Our goal is so that everybody has a good experience with our games." This is a statement from Nintendo.
Sorry. I hadn't eaten today.
Was that a milkshake?
It was a protein smoothie.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow.
I needed. That's what I told Kim. I was like, when that gets here, you give that to me.
You give that
You
to
give that.
me.
You give me my juice.
Holy hell.
The thing with this game is like they can do all the bug fixes they want, but it is built very shoddy.
Yeah.
Like
no,
I'm telling you, when I do that ZL trick and I look around the game, you can just see where they've just stitched these flat textures together. And that's why like you end up falling through the floor so much
Yeah.
because they're so I've never been given the tools by a developer to like see around their own game. Weirdly enough. So I don't know if all games are like this or there's some other like measures in place to avoid things like this. But if you like hold that ZL and even like tilt the camera down, you can see under the floor.
This would be a good conversation for She Says.
It would be. That actually would be a really
break.
good conversation.
I don't know if you guys watch Point Crow at all, but he's a YouTuber. He did a playthrough of Pokemon where he just looked for the most bugs while he beating the game. The way he traversed the world is he clipped underground, and there's underground water, and he just rode the underground water.
That's wild.
That is how he beat.
Is the
game.
water supposed to be in the game or no?
No, it's like under the world. Like he
Okay.
sees mountains. Do you remember?
There's no like actual underground like waterway built into the game.
No,
This is just,
no. You can look under the game at any point. There's nothing under there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the earthworm fight, the steel worm thing.
Yeah.
I just did that. Yeah.
The way they code it, he was under the world while traveling to find him. All 3 spawns of him are just loaded in the world already. So we saw 3 giant earthworms,
That's pretty funny.
but he could only interact with the correct one that he had to interact with.
I mean,
This
this
is a mess.
games. There's a lot of games that are very well polished that
Yeah.
have weird things like that you are never supposed to see.
Yeah.
I think it's is it Half-Life where they didn't know what to do with the trains or how to make the trains move, so they made them hats for people, so the people
Yes.
move like trains.
I do remember that.
And if
That's
you look
very
at
funny.
it, if you look at the model of the train, it's a train but with a person sticking out of it.
Yeah, that's very
So
funny.
like there's a lot of things like
No,
that
yeah.
that work well.
Yeah.
But you're not if you don't see it. If you see it, then
Things like what he just explained, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with that. I assume that's how games work most of the time. It's a magic trick, and a lot of things get coded and they load out a screen. It's the fact that I can hold ZL at any time, just pan the camera down a little bit, and I can see how it's all working.
so
And what I was gonna say with like how thin everything is and how like minimalistic it and like literally I equate it to like a preschooler building a popsicle house. Like it's all just popsicle. And every now and then the textures pop out, and that's how you like fall through the bottom of the world. And I don't know what they can do to start fixing issues like that on a grand scale without remaking the game better.
So I think the game was made with just the bare bones is just poor architecture.
Yeah.
But like issues like that where you can see through walls and stuff are usually gonna be fixed when they're QA testing. Like, oh, I'm in this area, I'm trying everything. Here's all the problems with this area. And they just must not have had any time to do that.
The fact that no one noticed this camera thing is ridiculous. I have seen
does it see through everything?
everything.
Yeah, so there's no collision then, and then that's something that could be fixed on a grand scale, but then they gotta QA test the whole game again.
Yeah, I don't. The game, as Fried Biscuits keeps saying, is built with spaghetti code.
Yeah,
And it really does feel like that. The amount of glitches and even exploits that people have found to just work around the game's code.
I wish I knew more about game development to like
I know,
talk
I
more
wish I did
specifically
too.
about it, but like it feels a lot like it in Warzone originally had a lot of issues because that game was like a massive game built off of something that was never supposed to be that massive, you know? And that's kind of what Pokemon is. It's old Pokemon stuff that they kind of just hacked together to make it bigger. And the reason why they made a Warzone 2 was because the first game was so broken, they needed to start from scratch. They needed to start with the idea that we're going to have a battle royale, a big open world. This game will never be fixed to the degree that is acceptable until they just make another one.
That's the thing with a lot of people wanting these patches and like being hopeful for getting a patch. The best thing they can do, I think,
It's got to be a big patch.
and then they're not going to do that. The best thing they can do, I think, is just find a way to optimize this so that the frame rates smooth out.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna, the bugs and glitches are always gonna be there. That's how the game is built. You're never gonna get rid of that unless you start again and start seriously remaking some things. The best they can do is optimize it.
But that's a huge undertaking too. 'Cause
No, yeah.
part of the spaghetti code is, trying
love
to get
calling it
the
spaghetti
stuff
code.
to work like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
And we don't know much about game coding, but I mean, we've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of games.
we're experts.
We're experts, just like Donkey.
Let's start a publishing company.
You do start to like pick up on some basic things and basic understanding of like how games usually work, and like you can more easily see like games working as you play them. You know, like when you see something render in slowly, or you see the pop in, and you're like, it's because I walked in like this close to it, and it's like popping in and out, and it's trying to like ease up the system, and it's just with Scarlet and Violet, you can see the game struggling to work every second you play it. It looks so amateur. It looks so rushed. You can tell. Like initially, my thing wasn't. I was saying I don't think it's rushed. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's GameFreak not really knowing how to build an open world. I mean, this is another thing that like most basic people understand is when they found out that the game itself loads in the entire world all at once. Yeah. You know, everyone just goes, why? Like, that's not how games, that's not what you do. Yeah. That's going to make it way harder. I've lost my point.
I think it's both. I think Game Freak doesn't really know what they're doing.
That's what I was saying. I forgot what I was trying to say.
But
it was absolutely rushed is what I was trying to get to.
It's probably both.
You can see how it's rushed by the way I'm like looking outside of the game. I can see how it's rushed.
Also, I still don't think the game renders the whole map. I think it just renders way more than it should.
Yeah.
You know, because when you enter a town, that's when things start to get rough and you could see it load. You know?
Yeah. That's because I think that's mostly because it's trying to add all the people back in. It's trying to add all the NPCs.
It's doing a lot and it's not optimized.
The game takes out every single thing that's not nailed down to the world. It takes out the people, it takes out the Pokemon, it takes out... You know, something that actually sucks with that too is I've realized you can't get too far from a Pokemon before it pops out and then it's gone. It doesn't pop back in. It doesn't... Because, again, the game is struggling so much, it's extra strain for it to take the Pokemon out, but also remember that that Pokemon is there in case you go back. It literally just pops it out and then you can go back and get it. Yeah. I've had it where like I've been riding along and I see a Pokemon and it takes a second for me to register. I'm like, oh no, I need that. And it's already popped out of the game. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm not getting that Pokemon.
I made a video about how people are saying that people are saying that we talked about this last time. It could either be the Game Freak or it could be the Switch's hardware. And there are people who have been able to run the game on emulators on the computer. And obviously that's going to run a little better because you got the horsepower of a fucking 3090, you know, instead of a Android tablet. But you watch those videos and it's not much better. It's like kind of sad because you have all of this horsepower of a $3,000 gaming rig struggling to load in a Pokemon game, you know?
Yeah, well, at that point...
You can get 60 frames, but it doesn't look good and there's still slowdown and weird stuff going on.
At that point, you can get a more consistent 60 frames. You can get it in 4K and it will like render more things in. So like you don't have as much pop in and stuff like that because it's rendering more things in. You still have a ton of issues. You still have the bugs and the glitches and the slowdown.
You're still going to see through every wall.
But also people get really confused when they see that because they're like, well, then obviously the Switch is the issue. You really have to remember that we have so many other games that look so much better than that 4K high resolution version of this being rendered on a PC already running on the Switch.
And are bigger.
And more expansive and cooler and don't have these issues and these bugs and these glitches and these slowdowns and keep a steady frame rate. This is purely Game Freak not knowing how to optimize a game for the console and kind of building a crappy game that if you throw all the power in the world at it, you can help it along a little bit, but you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that this game, it wasn't like a pop quiz. It wasn't like Nintendo came to the Game Freak and said, hey, you got to put the game on Switch. And they were like, oh, no.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yes.
They knew from the very beginning this was going on the Switch and nowhere else. Unless this was supposed to be a next-gen game, which I don't think it was. But that's also possible.
That's an interesting thought.
I know.
Let's run with that for the episode.
I was thinking about that while I was making my video. I was like, I said exactly what you said. I was like, there's absolutely no way they knew from the very beginning that this game was going to be a Switch game. So they had to build it for that hardware. Wait a minute, the Switch Pro. Everybody's talking about the Switch Pro.
That would be really...
And that would have been pushed back if that was a COVID thing.
And if the theories that like we were supposed to get a Pro... then we couldn't because of all the chip hardware shortages. So they made the OLED instead and they just revamped the screen. So if the Switch Pro was supposed to come out
maybe this is being
OLED
developed on a development kit that was way more powerful.
That we have heard
and then they got
apparently
that ripped away
people have.
from.
But then they still had to release the game anyway because they have merch and they have Pokemon cards. This is a really interesting theory.
Yeah.
I do want to bring up, this is also the second time of the Switch's life that Game Freak has had this exact theory come through.
Oh, with Arceus.
With Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield people were like, this game was made for 3DS. But then they jam-packed in the, I forget, the wild area. Is that what it's called? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But like they made that for the Switch. And like that's what the future like
Yeah.
Pokemon on the Switch is going to look like.
Yeah, that theory came from a lot of the assets in the game and the Pokemon they found out were reused from the 3DS. They were all 3DS Pokemon and assets. They just reused them all.
Well, when I was playing the game, when it first came out, Liam, the Cursed Golf guy, was in my chat. And I was like, you're a game dev. Tell me what happened. And he said, they're working on, an engine that's probably so old and just hacked together. And he's like, it could be the freaking Gale of Darkness engine. And I was like, yeah, it could be, actually. Yeah. It could actually be that old.
Yeah, we don't really know what engine they're building any of this on. It definitely is outdated. It's like everything they have is outdated. Well, the models.
I remember when they were making their first home console full-fledged Pokemon game, it was going to be Sword and Shield. Oh no, it was actually going to be Let's Go. And everyone was like, what's that going to look like? And everyone was making like concept art of what they thought it should look like, whatever. And it was stylized beautifully. And then I saw videos of Sun and Moon on 3DS running on a computer without the 3D, running at a high resolution. And I was like, these models look good.
Yeah.
Like they could just do this. And then they did. And then they kind of just did that. They kind of just took that and put it in Let's Go. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, try a little more than that. You're a multi-billion-dollar company.
Let's Go was really pretty.
It was very pretty. Let's Go was very pretty. And then Sword and Shield.
That's because Game Freak didn't make Let's Go.
I know.
Because Game Freak makes the worst Pokemon games.
I want to smash down this theory that it's for the Switch Pro real quick.
Yeah.
Because
smash it down as in like you don't think that's it?
Yeah, because the game doesn't run on a 3090. So the game still has problems on a full-fledged computer. It wasn't going to run good on it.
No, you can tell. It's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
And I think there could be merit to it. But there is no reason that this game couldn't run on Switch. Yeah. I mean, it always goes back to that.
Yeah.
Another example I was thinking of today, another cool example, is that game Ark, which released on Switch in 2018, 19. And it was their attempt at porting over this PC game or this whatever game, this big grand game. And it was awful. It looked awful. A lot of pop-in, a lot of shadow glitches. Like the same thing, literally. I have a clip. Literally, you might have used it.
I used parts of your video.
There's a clip from me in Ark in 2019 on Switch where I'm walking towards this tree and I can make the tree shadow pop in and out. And you can do the exact same thing in Pokemon. It's a poorly optimized game. Yeah. Things like this is poor optimization. It doesn't mean the game can't run on Switch. And why this is a good example is because like a month ago, in November 1st, actually, I made a video about it. Ark re-released the game. Because they went back to the drawing board. They scrapped the port that they had made because it was all wrong. They had no idea how to work with the Switch. They hadn't done it before and they botched it. And they used a lot of knowledge and borrowed knowledge from people that have been working with the Switch the last several years. And they put the game, which at this point has tons more stuff in it, tons more DLC, ton more things added to the game. It's a bigger game than before. And they put it on Switch and we played it and it runs great. There's no issues, no pop-in. It runs at 30 frames, and it's the same game optimized better.
Did they hire a port house?
They were both ported by, I don't know if it was the same company each time, but they were both ported by a different team outside of Ark's dev team.
I was going to say, Game Freak should hire Panic Button
I keep saying that.
Or a port house
they
or
need
something
They need to get whoever made the Let's Go game, whoever, just buy a company to help you, even just code
they should
the
do
game,
that for the next
the
game. But whoever ports games to the Switch should look at this mess and try to figure out a patch or something. But Ark, did they just ground up? It's a whole new game. Like, do you have to download a whole new game now? Like, how does that work?
They just reissued it. Like, it's like the same thing. So like I had the physical Ark from like 2019. If you stick that in, it downloads the update and then you have the new thing.
So but my question is the update like a whole new thing?
They rebuilt it.
Yeah. From everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not going to work with Pokemon.
No, they would have to rebuild it. And that's, again, that's the example that, this Pokemon game, if they were to fix a lot of this stuff, it would need to be rebuilt. If you want to optimize it right, it needs to be rebuilt. You can smooth some things out. You know, now that you have time because the game's out, you're not focused on other things. You can focus on performance issues and try and smooth things out. But you can't rebuild the game. It's made the way it's made.
Another good example of why it wouldn't be a Switch Pro situation is because it doesn't run good on Steam Deck. Steam Deck is basically a Switch Pro. And I know it's not optimized for Steam Deck either, but like it runs at like 15 frames a second, like the whole game, not just certain areas.
I mean, that's another good example. Sure, you can get it running okay on like a 3090 or a 40 something. But if you're saying it that Nintendo needs to make that Switch Pro already, that's what a Steam Deck is.
Yeah.
So if it's not running on a Steam Deck, this game is just spaghetti.
You got to optimize it, and it's not optimized for
everything.
Right
needs
now.
to be optimized. Yeah. You know, when games release on Steam, like our friend Liam, for example, released Curse to Golf on Steam. This is like a little indie title, right?
Yeah.
You would think the Steam Deck would just chew through it, and it might.
Yeah.
But they are able to then go in and you make a actual optimized version for the Steam Deck. Yeah. A lot of the games that have the check mark, the devs like in No Man's Sky have gone in and they've tried to optimize it for the Steam Deck specifically.
Yeah.
Rather than just having this underpowered PC try and play their game, they try and tweak some things.
This is an interesting conversation too, because I said that I don't think the game should have even passed certification for the eShop. And, you know, games like Cyberpunk did. And they clearly shouldn't have either. And then like PlayStation rescinded it. They were like, oh, it doesn't actually. But like, why did it pass in the first place? It's because CD Projekt Red is such a big company and they like know that they're good for it, but they really weren't.
They also want the money. How do they not?
Yes. A company like Pokemon, this is what I've heard, Nintendo will be like, all right, this is rough, but like, you got to promise you're going to have like a day one patch or something. And like, yeah, we're good for it. We're good for it. And then the day one patch doesn't fucking do anything.
Of course it doesn't.
Yeah.
The day one patch is the same as that patch we just had.
Yeah, but
various select bug fixes.
No other developers are going to have that privilege from Nintendo. Are there any other developer, they'd be like, get this game out of here.
No, I know. I agree 100%. I also feel like the day one patch in a lot of cases is like a lot of companies out to when they send out early review codes that have issues. They just tell the reviewers there's going to be a day one patch, so don't worry about
that
any
happened with
bugs
this game.
Yeah.
But the day one patch came out a week early, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there were a lot of Pokemon YouTubers that were like, it fixes everything.
Oh my God. There was
a lot of reviewers reviewed it thinking that the frame issues were going to be fixed.
And that's what I mean by like the scapegoat of a day one. When a company sends out a game and they're like, I get this all the time. They're like, you're gonna see some bugs and issues. We have a day one patch.
Yeah, and then they write that in the review. They give a little sentence like, hey, there's issues, but I'm sure it'll be fixed.
And they're not.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
or they try not to focus on it because, to be clear, that happens sometimes. Sometimes there's bugs and then they do get fixed.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes they do. Not all. I mean, how much can you do in a week? How much can you do in a couple of weeks?
I reread IGN's Cyberpunk review just when I was going through all this stuff.
It's fun.
And they barely talked about the issues, the performance issues. I was like, what the fuck?
That doesn't surprise
That's kind
me.
of the biggest deal with this game. You can't just gloss over the performance issues.
I honestly don't know how places like IGN work because no one likes that.
I used to love IGN.
Not anymore. You can't trust it.
I respect a lot of games journalists, okay?
No,
I respect what they do and how they set up the companies and stuff.
And that's what I mean. With like, there's so many different ways I could take this.
I used to watch them all the time in like the Greg Miller era.
Different ways I could take this. But IGN is a company and they have multiple people working for them and they will all review different games. So you're having all these different people with their different backgrounds and wants and needs and drives reviewing different games. But people look at IGN scores as like a 1, this is IGN, but it's not. But it's not an IGN.
That's a perception thing that needs to change.
But that's why I don't get why IGN works like that. I don't want IGN score. I want who reviewed this score.
That's what you're getting.
I know. It's what I'm getting.
It's just, it looks like it's IGN. Like when IGN reviews, like IGN could review like they could have one guy working on Pokemon Scarlet and one guy working on Pokemon Violet and get 2 completely different reviews.
Which is what I mean. Like, how do you trust that? But then
what are you supposed to do? Have a committee?
Just don't watch IGN. the independent people, or like those people, just do their own. I don't know.
They
you
probably should work like a committee.
But then you have like the other things, like the Cyberpunk review not having any of the glitches, or the reviews that are clearly paid for, or the reviews that are clearly have biases.
At the same time, what do you do as a games journalist? Like, you have a game that's early that is clearly not finished. You have to say like this. I'm working on a copy that's not finished. You know. It's hard for us to relate because we get games the fucking day they come out.
That's true. I'm here with you, and I'm listening. I'm not trying to move on.
Okay.
But I'm now realizing we didn't even talk about Smash.
We didn't talk. Yeah,
did you want to?
Honestly, we started.
It just hit me like a ton. I don't know if you noticed.
I noticed.
It hit me like a ton of bricks all of a sudden. I was like, "Oh, Smash."
I was thinking about it too. We had a list of things we wanted to talk about, but this was just going so well.
It was, yeah.
But right before we started, you said, "Is this enough to go on?" And I went. I didn't talk for like a minute. I was thinking, and I was like, maybe. I don't know. I really didn't think we were gonna make it through, but I
didn't think we'd do a whole nother episode just on Pokemon. But I mean, I have played a lot, and I did literally yesterday. It was like 7 hours I was writing the review, so a lot of it is like really fresh in my head.
You and Fried Biscuits play that while we're playing like Warzone or Valorant.
Yeah, it's funny.
Who are you?
Scoot does too. Well, to be fair, Biscuits and I have been playing this game a lot randomly. Like, it's been.
You guys
fun.
were hanging out in Discord for like hours.
The other night, I was too tired to get out of bed, so me and Biscuits were like in the game doing raids. No, kind of. I was doing raids with Biscuits, and I was like messaging him while they were in Discord talking, and I felt bad. I kind of wanted to get in the call, but I didn't. Kim was asleep. Yeah. Where are we going with this?
We were going to just start talking about Smash World Tour.
We said something about playing a lot of Pokemon.
We're playing a lot of Pokemon. You guys are playing while you're playing other games.
Yeah, I think. Okay.
It's a very passive game. I mentioned offhand that this game isn't a game.
I'm just breaking down my review. One of the final things I wrote was, if this game wasn't Pokemon, would anyone like it?
No.
Don't think I would like it.
No, it's proven that we wouldn't like it because we played Temtem that one time.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
We had an enjoyable experience. It's arguably better than Pokemon, but
I'm going to put that in my review.
We dropped it like a sack of bricks because
we had no attachment.
It's not Pokemon.
We had no attachment.
Put this clip in the video.
It's just another game in the dime of the dozen, and it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it, but I mean, it wasn't super engaging. It wasn't holding my attention. There was no reason for me to finish it.
Yeah.
It's not like I was going to review it.
You don't care if you collect all of them?
I don't care if I collect all of them. I'm not looking for like, I don't have an Eevee yet kind of thing. If it wasn't for the fact that this is Pokemon and it's nostalgia that we've grown up with all these years, no one would look at this twice. This is a joke game. Yeah. It really is a joke of a game.
There's a lot of games that try to do what Pokemon can't, and like Temtem and Nexomon or whatever.
Yeah.
And they look great, and it sounds great to Pokemon fans or people who are really diehard and want these changes to happen in Pokemon, but it's not Pokemon. So like you look at it and you want to play it, and then you're like,
it's like, and you said we wouldn't talk about Callisto. You liar. Callisto just came out, and it's got like, I was looking forward to it because it's like a Dead Space game.
Yeah.
And it's got like average reviews. Everyone's like, it's getting reviewed so bad. And then immediately I'm like, I might not bother then. But it's like the review's like the same as Pokemon. It's like a high 70 and like low 80 or something. It's like the same as Scarlet and Violet. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I won't play Callisto, a game I've been looking forward to. But Pokemon gets a bad review, I still gotta get it. That's
another weird sort of like conversation you have to have about review scores. Like a game like Pokemon can get the same score as a game like friggin' Skyrim, and they're like completely different games. Madden 06, should I play that over,
Review scores are a funky thing.
Yeah, but you have to rate it out of 10. That's what people always come to you. Should I get this game? Is it good?
Yeah.
Is this good?
I never answer that question.
I hate the should I get this game because it's like, I don't know you.
I don't know you at all.
Yeah, that's why I have a 20-minute review on this game so you can watch that and decide whether or not you
Have I recommended it before? I can't individually recommend a game for someone. I can recommend a game as a whole.
Yeah.
But there are going to be people that watch that and then get it and then they don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just how games work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get accosted by someone and be like, yes, buy it. Spend your money on it.
I enjoyed my time with Pokemon. I'm glad I spent the money on it. But
I
don't know if it's for everybody.
I like Scarlet and Violet. Mm-hmm. It is fun because I am high on the nostalgia. That's it. The game does not have much to offer. The one thing, I really am breaking down my review. I hate that. But the one thing that does, I think, bum me out more than anything is something that I love about Pokemon growing up, watching the cartoon and playing the original games, but watching the cartoon specifically, was following their journey and looking forward to every new town they would get to. Because they was always like on the road for a while, right?
On the road.
And then they would finally get to a town and it's like, what new gym will I find? Who's going to be there? What Pokemon are going to be there? And you would think this was an opportunity to have that experience for the first time, an open world, and you're setting out and you're finding the towns. I mean, even in Zelda, we didn't really get too much of that because there wasn't many towns. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 places really. This had like the possibility of 8 cities that you're going to find. But every time you get to one, the frame rates tank so abysmally low. People are popping in left, right, and center. It feels like you're in a ghost town. Every store is a JPEG menu screen, so you don't even bother. Also, it's the same 4 stores in every town, so it's not like you find anything new.
But
I really do just get in the gym and get out as soon as I can and hope to God the next town is smaller so there's better frame rates.
I was going to say, but it's Pokemon. So you like going to the town. You like seeing the gym leader.
sick,
you like seeing the Pokemon. So like, I'm with you. When I go to a town, I beeline it to the gym. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to do anything. I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
But that's why I do it. I suffer through that frame rate because I want to see that gym and I want to do the battle because it's Pokemon.
The gym is the best part of every town.
In Pokemon, I'm going to try to be vague to not spoil you, Bob. I don't know if you care about spoilers.
I don't. Well, do it for the audience.
The audience might.
For the audience, I'll do it for the audience. The last hour, they do something really cool where I'm like, oh my God, they know how to actually they know how to write, they know how to build character development. And I was like blown away.
I do agree with this.
I'm like, it was crazy. It was like a scene out of like walking around in the world of Xenoblade Chronicles. And I was like, why can't the actual game be like that? Because they clearly have the ideas and like the bone structure to do it.
I have a theory for that.
Now they're doing it. I would love to hear that, King, but I don't want to spoil your video. But I remember thinking like...
That was the best shut the fuck up I've ever heard in my life.
No, I don't want him to ruin his video. I don't want him to spoil it.
I'll tell it.
Okay, you'll tell
when
it.
you're done. When you're done.
It's just really cool, and it like upsets me that like these interesting characters we could have seen and we didn't, and I'm sad.
Yeah.
And Pokemon's a bummer. Like I said in the tier list video, it is the biggest C or B game, but we all want it to be an A tier game so badly.
Yeah.
It's the best thing he's ever said.
Yeah, okay. You should end.
No, I agree. The last hour is the best part of the game. It's fantastic. It was the only part where I stopped smashing A in the game and actually paid attention.
Before the credits roll.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
My theory is that, and this is just my theory, it probably just comes down to them being lazy and unable to innovate, that they just don't want to change the core format of Pokemon. They are so scared to change it. Like, they just think that everyone's going to cry in their little pants if they do.
I was with you until this game, and now I think they're just too lazy to change it.
Possibly. Well, once you get to that last hour, you'll see what I mean, because it does become a different game.
Okay.
Like, it's wild. And it's almost like they're like, okay, we got the gym battles. We got the enemy team. We got the rival. Have we done everything? Everything we're supposed to do? Okay. How much time do we have left? An hour? Okay. This is what we're going to do that's really sick.
Yeah.
It really feels like that. It feels like they got all that crap out of the way and they were able to have some freedom for a bit.
I really love the open world nature, even though it breaks the whole freaking game. But like, I was playing.
There's no going back.
Yeah, they have to do this from now on. I was playing last night, and I've just been kind of going wherever, and I kind of feel like I'm just crushing everybody because I must be doing something out of order or
You're
something.
a king.
I'm just amazing at video games.
Yeah,
dude.
you're so good.
I was like, I don't know where to go now.
Like
I don't.
Cannon.
Jesus Christ.
We're in overtime.
I was like, I don't know where to go now, and then I asked my chat, and they said, ask Nurse Joy at the Pokemon Center, and I was like, really? And you just go up to the Pokemon Center and go, I don't know. And there's this thing, I don't know where to go.
Oh, I didn't
and she's
know
like,
that.
go here, and she tells you.
Oh, wow.
Like, why don't you try this?
I had no idea.
Also, when you have a move, when a Pokemon wants to learn a move, and you're like, do I want this?
You can ask.
You can ask the Pokemon.
I do like that.
That's cool.
Sometimes it goes, nah.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, fine. I won't move.
Yeah, you got to do it. It's his move.
There was one time.
His body, his choice.
I was on stream. I was on stream and I was telling people about this really cool new feature. And I had this, I can't remember the exact thing, but I had this Pokemon. And I was like, see, I'll show you. He wants to learn Fire Blast. That's like a really cool move and I can't wait to add it. And I'm like, see, what do you want to do? What do you want to learn instead? He goes, I don't need to learn Fire Blast.
I got this.
And I'm like,
best move in the whole damn game. I'm good.
Well, no, I can't. I feel bad teaching. All right, fine. No Fire Blast. I went the whole game without it.
He's like, I'm going to win the whole Elite Four with Ember.
He did.
Damn.
All
so,
right.
yeah, I like the game, whatever. Well, how much time do we have? Do we have enough time for a whole nother topic?
I just gave the thumbs up.
What are we at?
For what? Yeah.
We're at an hour and 2 minutes.
Are you
Oh,
flipping having a good time?
make that a t-shirt. We have to do a bonus
Yeah.
if you want to talk about
I don't
Smash.
want to make I feel like the Smash World Tour thing is such a big deal, but I also don't want to save it for a whole nother episode.
No, it has to be now. So you either do it
Let's
now,
do it real
now.
quick. Let's summarize this real quick because I think it's really
What are
important.
we gonna do in the
that everybody knows
bonus?
about it. We'll just fucking have a good time. We can talk more about it in the bonus.
Okay.
We'll just quickly summarize what
Okay.
happened.
I know nothing about this. This is
Okay,
yours.
well, get ready to have a little
I'm in.
summary that's not going to teach you that much more. So a while ago, Nintendo has always been kind of
Dumb.
weird with Smash. Very stupid. They've been very weird with Smash tournaments. They hate working with Smash tournaments. And you know what? Sometimes, pre-COVID, rightfully so, a lot of problems with Smash community. A lot of controversies, a lot of pieces of shit in the Smash community.
get into that. I remember that.
They kind of figured their stuff out, kind of culled a lot of the problem people, and it's gotten a lot better. But still, for whatever reason, Nintendo is really weird with like esports in general and having like grassroots.
We learned with Kit and Krista, they're pretty behind in just a lot of things.
Yes, so that happened with the Smash community, and Smash Brothers esports could be so much bigger than it is, but Nintendo doesn't help out. All these other esports come up, and the developers of the games put a lot of money into the prize pools and stuff and make them much bigger than they could be. I'm here. I'm over here. So Nintendo doesn't help at all with Smash tournaments. Nintendo partnered with Panda Global. Panda Global is like a big company became a big company that does a lot of Smash tournaments. Yes. Panda Global. You
Panda
paying attention?
Global. I am listening. Don't assume I'm not. I am here.
So Nintendo partnered with them, which is a huge deal because they've done a lot for the Smash community. So now they can help Nintendo help them and help
This
the
is
Smash
recent?
community.
This is new?
No, this was about a year
Okay.
ago. So Smash World Tour is another kind of Smash company that was like, oh, we do tournaments too. Can we partner with Nintendo? And Nintendo was like, we don't really know. We're not too sure.
Okay.
We're just going to work with Panda for now and blah, blah, blah. The Panda CEO
Yeah.
was going around.
Boss Panda.
Was going around to other competing
Boss
tournaments and like broadcasters and people working in the Smash community to broadcast these big tournaments and stuff and kind of bullying them, saying like, if you don't work with us, we're going to tell Nintendo to shut you down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Power
'Cause-
play.
Exactly.
Love that. He really is a Boss Panda.
So Smash World Tour was going on this year. Smash World Tour was a bunch of events that you compete in all of these events and you earn points for the grand finale, which is supposed to be next week, which is the big World Tour event. The best Smash players
Best
are
of
going to
the
come.
best.
The best of the
AJ.
best.
AJ, you, me,
Yeah, exactly.
Scoot.
I noticed you saved Scoot for the very end there.
My Sora is better.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, that's brutal.
I've been meaning to 1v1 you again.
We'll need to settle it.
It's been a minute.
Got it. Got to
Settle
switch
in
right there,
Smash.
baby. So they set up that Smash World Tour set up that event earlier this year. Panda Global was like, we can do that too, but we can do it officially. And then like announced their exact same situation and competed and tried to take the same broadcasters. It was a whole mess.
Okay. Like a WWE, AEW situation.
Yeah, but they both ran alongside each other all year, and more competition is better. It's good to have more events because it's better for the Smash community.
You don't want a monopoly.
Yeah, these professional players have a bunch of tournaments they can go to now. It's great. They can have full-time.
Everyone's smashing everywhere.
Exactly, and
Smashing
the
here,
people who work on the
smashing there.
broadcast can have full-time jobs at both, and it's great for the Smash community.
So good. People
So-
have jobs.
The day before Thanksgiving, Nintendo asked Smash World Tour for
turkey.
a meeting.
To eat turkey and green beans.
No, that's not what they did. For KFC because they're Japanese.
That's Christmas.
That's Christmas.
I know more. I'm a bigger weeb.
You're a bigger weeb. So
Yoro means night in Japanese.
it does. So Nintendo asked Smash World Tour for a little meeting the day before Thanksgiving, and they said, hey, we're not going to work with you in an official capacity in 2022 or 2023, which is weird because they never submitted officially to work with them in 2023. And they're like, okay, does this mean we can't do our big finale in like 2 weeks? And Nintendo was like, those times are over. And they're like, okay, well, fuck, I guess we can't do it. So they said, hey, we can't do the Smash World Tour. Everybody go home. They made
This
a
was
big
a year
announcement.
ago.
No, this was this Thanksgiving.
Oh.
We've made it all the way to now, baby. They did the whole year-long
Because I know they
tournaments.
screwed up some Smash tournaments a year or two back because of all the other stuff, I guess.
Well, yeah,
So
they
they
pulled
just
out of EVO because of the same reasons. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, I guess.
So Smash World Tour made a big announcement this past week and was like, hey, we can't do it because Nintendo said no. And also, by the way, Panda Global CEO is a big piece of shit and is telling everybody they can't have tournaments or Nintendo's going to shut them down. Panda Global Nintendo made a statement and said, we never said that. We just didn't want to work with you officially. You're shutting it down on your own accord. And Panda Global made a statement and was like, yeah, they never said anything. Our CEO is a piece of shit, though.
That's Boss Panda. That's Boss Panda.
But he's not going to work with anybody anymore. We're going to have somebody like middleman. Don't worry about it. And it's like, well, how about you just fire him? How about you run him out of?
Can you fire the CEO?
You can do something.
Lead him out with some eucalyptus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put him in.
No, that's koalas.
Yeah.
I should know that.
Bamboo is
Bamboo.
pandas.
Bamboo. Thank you.
So,
Bamboo.
so Smash World Tour said, no, here's what Nintendo said. They said those times are over when we directly asked. Also, why would they want to talk to us before the event?
That is such a fun way, a horrible way of like shutting someone down when they ask for something.
Yeah.
Like those times are over.
The reason it happened like that is because Nintendo has to talk in their weird legalese to everybody, you know? And Nintendo wanted to let them know, we're not working with you officially, so we can't really help you. But the way they were wording it implied that if they did do it, they would shut them down.
Kim's like, you want to go to the store with me? Those times are over.
That's what I mean. So like there was a very huge miscommunication, but it was all on Nintendo. It's all their fault that happened.
That sounds like that happens a lot with them.
Yeah. But they do it on purpose because they don't actually want this tournament to happen because they want to hold on to their IP for dear life.
So they're like manipulating them into thinking that they have to.
Exactly.
When really they don't have to.
Yeah.
But they're going to.
Yeah. So like the only thing Nintendo could really do is shut down the broadcast because they do that they shut down streams. Like if somebody's streaming a game that they got early, they could just shut it down.
So are they gonna do the finals or what?
This just happened like a few days ago where the Nintendo statement came out. So by the time this podcast goes up, it could be different.
There has been some movements about this. I've been following this a lot.
It's moving.
It's
moving. Where's it going?
I love the.
Where's Boss Panda
Smash
taking
community. It sounds like a large theory is that Panda's kind of like allowing Nintendo to be the scapegoat for this, and like Panda's the real problem. Is the like
well Nintendo said no outside affiliation led us to this decision. So they were trying to put a little blame off of Panda also.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in the way of Boss Panda.
You do not want.
You don't want to get in the way of
Panda.
Boss Nintendo.
No.
Yesterday, Ludwig, he's.
I was gonna say how much you want to bet Ludwig is gonna come out of that mouth.
Well, hey guys, he's okay.
I know he's doing something. Go
on the same day where the Smash World Tour was supposed to happen.
No, on the same day the Panda Cup was supposed to happen.
Yes.
The Panda Cup is still happening.
I'm sorry, are you Ludwig? Those times?
On the same day as the Panda Cup, go on.
Ludwig is hosting a Scuffed World Tour, a one-day Melee / Ultimate event on the same day as the Panda World Cup. And it's also worth noting a big commentator, a couple people actually from Panda that were employed by Panda have tendered their resignation today, 3 hours ago.
Boss Panda?
It's happening, baby.
One was a social media manager, I believe, or an influencer manager, an athlete manager. His name is Josh. And the other is Coney, who's very notable as a...
2012?
As a Smash commentator, he worked with Panda, and he has officially tendered his resignation. And granted, he has to work throughout the rest of the year, but as of January, he will no longer be affiliated with Panda.
Ludwig is basically fronting the money to keep a remnants of Smash World Tour happening. And I think he said this, it's all the top players from the World Tour.
Well, yeah.
All the people who earn points throughout the World Tour are going to compete in Ludwig's event.
Yeah.
And he's fronting $50,000 for the prize pool. And he's raising money for VG Video Game Boot Camp, who was going to broadcast Smash World Tour and now can't.
Do you think he stands to make money from this, or he's just doing it for the love of Smash?
He's going to lose a lot of money.
He was a Melee player.
Oh, that makes sense.
He was a professional Melee player.
So he owes pretty much everything to Smash.
Yes, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And he did a massive tournament like a month ago.
The Ludwig Invitational was
and it was
amazing.
awesome. Yeah.
That's really cool.
yeah,
I know nothing
he's
about
great.
Wiggy. Whatever.
What's
Blood?
He's a Mario character.
Wiggy?
No, Ludwig.
Oh.
What's
He
crazy?
also did some music. I
Is
don't
that
know.
where he gets his money from?
What's crazy is a lot of the pro players that were also going to play in the Panda World Cup have dropped out. Most notably, I think, is Mango, who's like considered one of the best players of Melee.
Yeah, Mango just does not give a fuck. So
I love Mango's streams.
yes, no, he's great. But yeah, no, it seems like a lot of people are they hate Panda now, and I think rightfully so. And I think Nintendo really, really, really dropped the ball on this too. And I feel really bad for everybody involved that was putting on such a big event and spent the whole year working up to it, and like 2 weeks before got told, nah, sorry. And now Nintendo's like, we never said that. Imagine that.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
Can I suggest something?
What?
Panda and the other company, I can't remember.
Smash World Tour.
They settle it
In Smash.
in Smash.
I'd be
Boss Panda versus Head Smash, whatever, in a 1v1, no items.
Do you think the CEO of Panda could even play Smash?
No.
No.
I
His
hardly
name's
doubt it.
Alan or something.
No Alan has ever played Smash. Alan is not a fun guy. Okay, I liked him better when he was Boss Panda.
So
anyway-
now against Panda as well, only because to learn the CEO is not named Boss Panda.
We could have talked about that a lot longer, but I think it's important that everybody knows just how much Nintendo fucked up
No, I'm glad you brought that up.
Smash
That's a
community,
wild
and also
story.
Panda Global. I had a lot of respect for Panda Global because they were making a GameCube controller last year.
Mm-hmm.
They took a lot of crowdfunding for it, and it looked awesome, and it was going to be very expensive. But they realized there were issues, and they wouldn't get the parts in time, and they wanted to redesign a lot of it. So they said, you know what, we're not going to hold on to your money. We'll just refund everybody,
That's
and
nice.
we'll fix it later, and we'll redo
Well, I
the
kinda
crowdfunding.
like Panda
Because they
now.
had like over $1 million of crowdfunding, and they just gave it all
You've
back.
told me the story in the wrong order because now I kind of like Panda.
Well, okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Don't worry. Now they're pieces of shit again.
Oh no. Not
So-
not BP.
I feel really bad for everybody involved in that situation, but it looks like it's going to work out, and it looks like Ludwig's kind of fixing it a little bit. So
I think it'd be really funny if Nintendo shut down Ludwig's event.
that would be. Oh, that's what I wanted to say.
That'd be really funny.
The only thing Nintendo can really do is shut down the broadcast. Like they can't just. What are they? The police? They're going to bring the police.
The ninjas.
The Nintendo ninjas are going to go to like a
Start slashing
like a
people
hotel
down.
ballroom and
Yeah.
shut it down. No, it's just a bunch of guys getting together to play video games.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the IP that they hold. You know,
I don't know why I found that
Dictatorship
funny.
over.
It's like you're just trying to convince Hannah. Just a couple guys getting together
couple
playing
guys, we're
video
just
games.
in the basement. I'll go to bed later. I'll see you later.
4 5 a.m. It's
Come
fine.
on.
Bring me my juice.
Give me my juice.
Give me my juice.
All right,
All
we're
right.
done.
Yeah, we're
we're
done.
done here. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was fun. Thank you, everyone. That was episode 30. That was the one that we were
was the
worried
one.
about getting to.
Yeah, and now we're done forever.
No, just in a flow. All right, guys. If you want to watch the bonus episode from today, you know what you got to do. You got to go to Patreon. $5 a month. You get 30 episodes right now for $5.
Also, don't forget about
Just giving those away for free.
our sponsor, Tokyo Treat.
Yes, Tokyo
Thanks,
Treat.
guys.
Links down below. Use code Nontendo or whatever we said earlier. I can't remember. Go get some for the Christmas box.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Merry Christmas.
Merry who's
Merry Christmas.
I've already eaten everything. It was good.
Yeah, I did
Happy holidays.
If you're listening on iTunes or whatever, rate us, please. And like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. I think I'm running out of things.
We'll see you in the bonus. Goodbye.
Not as-
Bye.
Not as good at this as Will. We need to get Will back.